Hi, in this series of video demonstrations we're going to be using Fusion 360 to create moving models of our mechanical design ideas. In this first video we're going to be looking at extruding simple geometric shapes from sketches. To help us demonstrate this, over the series we're going to be modelling this punch mechanism, starting in this video by modelling the base plate the other components are attached to. The base of our base plate will be a simple rectangle, so we're going to click on Sketch and select the XZ plane and then use the rectangle tool to draw a rectangle of 100mm by 50mm. We can use the grid in the background to help us. Once we're happy with the sketch, we can finish sketch and we can extrude that using the extrude tool, and we can drag that up by 5mm. Double check it says 5mm and new body and then click OK. We can then click on Sketch and select the top surface of the base plate to sketch the other elements to be extruded from the top of that plate. I'm going to use the grid to draw some lines that are 5mm apart, and then I can finish sketch and extrude two of those rectangles up by 20mm. It says join there, so that's fine. I want it to join to the existing component, the existing body. Our next element is going to be a cylinder, a tube that extrudes off of this face here. So we're going to draw a sketch on that face. Start with a circle, 10mm in diameter, from the center of that rectangle, and then an external part of the tube that's going to be 16mm in diameter. I'm then going to have a little flange that joins that to the plate, the surface of the plate. We can get rid of those excess lines. And then I can extrude that perpendicular to the face. At 30mm, making sure it joins to the existing body. So that's all one body there now, no separate parts. Next I'm going to extrude the circle at the end of the inside of that tube through. So we're going to go to a -5, so it goes through the plate that is in front of it. So if we rotate it now, we can see that it has extruded through that first plate, but I want it to extrude through both plates. So if I right click on the extrude icon on the timeline at the bottom, I can click edit and I can change that now to -15. It will now extrude its way through both of those rather than just the first one. So I've got a hole now that goes all the way through that tube and through both uprights on the plate. Next we're going to include two more uprights onto that face. We're going to zoom in so I can use the more accurate grid. And I'm going to draw 2mm away from the center. I'm going to draw a 15mm by 4mm rectangle. The reason it's 2mm from the center is I can then have a 4mm gap between those two plates as well, those two uprights. So 15 by 4, 15 by 4, we're going to extrude those up. I can then extrude those rectangles up by 20mm, again joining the existing body, so it's part of the same plate so far. And then I'm going to add a fillet in, or a radius in, on those four edges. It's 7.5mm because they're 15mm wide, so you get a full semicircle then. Next I'm going to add a hole into the center of that at 10mm radius, 10mm diameter, sorry, and then extrude that all the way through so it cuts through both. So there we have our finished base plate. Before we go any further, I'm going to save that file so I don't lose any work. I want my body to have the property of steel, so I'm just going to check that that's the case. It normally is, as a standard, which it is, so that's perfect.